Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Tractorman 44 here. Hey, I was just out here in the shed, and I got a text when I stepped outside to go to the other building. I got a text from the missus that just said, and it was accompanied by a picture. I had to look at it and study what that picture was. And what it is, the fireplace glass to our double door fireplace literally fell out in on the hearth whenever she was getting ready to put some more wood in the fire. So I had to go up there and take a look at it. Now, you wouldn't think normally that'd be much of a problem, but this time it kind of is, but it's not too awfully bad. Now, this glass on these particular doors are actually held in place by these little clips right here. Now, these clips are unique because instead of just being a mild steel or a galvanized steel, they're actually a spring steel. And right now you're going to find out why I save as much stuff as what I do. What this is right here, this is commercial banding. This is 3/4 inch commercial banding. It's spring steel. It's very hard material, and it'll hold that shape once we bend it to hold that glass in place, because unfortunately one of these clips here has disappeared. It's more than likely down inside a bed of coals. I don't want to dig through it or anything like that, so we're going to make another one real quick, and that's going to buy us a little bit of time. Now remember, I said this is kind of tough stuff, kind of hard to cut, but I went ahead and measured and got me a mark right there on a piece that we need to use. But now that we've got that, we just know in the center and up just a little ways, we have to put this little notch in it, because that notch has to fit over the top of a little button that is a retainer so that this guy will hold the glass in. So now we got to come up with the punch, or with the Whitney punch, in order to punch that hole. Now you guys remember the Whitney handheld punch. This one here is actually a pretty new one. It's still an old one, but it's not used very much. But at any rate, I've determined this is roughly a 7/32 notch in it right here. So we're just going to kind of guesstimate. We're going to shoot for the center of it, and we're going to punch it. Now this stuff here punches pretty hard. As you can tell by the click. So there's a hole. Now we're going to go ahead and cut that into a notch. Not too awfully bad. Not absolutely perfect, but it should be good. Now normally when I'm wanting to bend something like this, I'll go into the sheet metal brake, but this guy's so tiny, so small, I'm just going to go to the bench vise and we're going to tap it over with a hammer. I think it'll work. Not too awfully bad. I think it's going to work adequately until I get the time to service it correctly. Now lucky it fell out as she threw the first piece in, so I've only got one little piece to deal with, but there's a lot of coals and everything in there, and I don't feel like digging around in it. But at any rate, it hit the hearth and just kind of laid down there, no problem at all. But now you get the chance to take a look at what a person that didn't do a whole lot of preventive maintenance before winter has to deal with. You can see right now my gasket is about gone. I've known it's been eaten up, and I've got to replace my gaskets and everything, but now is not the time to install it, because you have to put that refractory cement on to hold the gasket in place, and before you put any heat on it, you want to hold it in place for several hours. So I'm not going to do that because it is a little chilly outside. So I'm going to go ahead and fix this temporarily. Here's two of the clips down here that are still in position, and then we'll be able to put the two replacement clips up here at the top to hold the top of the glass from falling out. At least that's what I'm hoping anyway. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world. Probably have to scratch around in there and clean it up a little bit. There's little pins right up here. There's little pins right there that slot slides over the top of, and that spring steel maintains a little bit of spring pressure on that glass to hold it into place. So that original one went back in okay, so now we're down to the replacement. Well, that's a pretty good push to get that one in. As you can see, there's a real thin gasket that goes behind the glass right here. And then, of course, our refractory cement holds this little flat gasket here on the front. So even though this is closed with the gasket bad, it's still sucking a little bit of oxygen, you know, around the glass because of that failing gasket. Around the gasket, it's actually deteriorated. But at the same time, right up here, if you take a look up here, this is an outside air damper right here. And then this opens and closes a damper that's inside here. The cold air comes in here and floods the front of the glass so that as this thing is drawing air in, it's drawing the smoke coming off the fire to the rear, lower and to the rear, to go up the back end and up the chimney to keep all the intense heat and all the intense smoke off of leaving deposits on the inside of your glass. It's just a feature that kind of ensures your glass don't have to be cleaned every day. Now that that's nice and secure and everything's cooled down, I can go ahead and spray this down a little bit. Both sides. May as well clean it up for the missus just a little. You don't want to spray that that glass cleaner on there on the glass when it's really, really nice and hot. Go ahead and hit this other side real quick. As you can see, this gasket's in a little better shape, but it's still missing down here. So it's definitely time to do a little bit of service to it. Well, like I said, the glass is nice and secure now, so we don't have anything to be concerned about. And I did a rudimentary job of cleaning it real quick. But newspaper does seem to do a pretty good job. If you go over it 3 or 4 times with newspaper, it really clears it pretty good. But right now, I didn't. We're in more of a hurry because it's kind of cold, you know what I mean? I guess the whole point of the story is everything needs a little bit of maintenance, and some people are better at maintenance than others. I got a buddy, his name is Dave at RCAF Polar Express. He is the absolute best at maintenance on everything that he does. I'm a little lackadaisical, as you can obviously tell. I probably should have done this prior to the cold weather setting in, but you know how it is. You're busy with this, you're busy with that, things are going on, and like right now, even though we really need to make a repair on it, we've got it good enough temporary where it's going to go ahead and continue right on through the rest of the winter and hopefully into spring. Then I will go ahead and completely clean those doors completely off, put all new refractory cement on there, get that gasket in, set that gasket in good and tight to where it'll be in perfect condition for next winter, and make a couple of little spare clips and leave them sitting here, you know, right next to the fireplace, you know, just in case I need them next time. So you know what? Thanks to the missus for giving me a shout whenever the glass fell out, and I'm just tickled to death that it hit the brick hearth and didn't break, because that could have given us a very bad day. And the odd thing about it is I was talking to my son literally last week, and my son had exactly the same thing to happen to him, except for when he came downstairs in the morning, the broken door and the broken glass was laying on his hearth. So he had a little bit of a problem there, and he's got to get a replacement heat treat glass, or whatever they call that, heat resistant glass from the local glass company to fit his doors. He might even have it done by now, I don't know. But it's just kind of odd how that happened to both of us within a week's time. So you know what? Hey, that's about all there is to this. I think the missus is putting some lunch on the table, and I think she's kind of happy that we got this thing taken care of so quick and easy. So that's about all there is to this from here. This Tractor Man 44. I'm out of here.